Hey guys, hi, welcome back once again, and this time I wish to talk about handwriting. And I think handwriting is an essential part of our personality. It is an embodiment of our personality or of our personal reality at this point in time. And therefore, I would want to say that if we look into our world today, we would also understand that most of us have been typing things, but most of us have not taken the time to write things, to pen down things. And not pen down things just as a signature, which also is an essential embodiment of our personality, but also write down pages after pages. We've not done that. And invariably it tells me that we have not taken the time out for ourselves to introspect, to go within our own selves. We have not given ourselves that time to see within our own selves. And that says a lot about us. That says how much we are dependent on the external factors. That tells us how much we are dependent on the machines. And if we are so dependent on the machines, which I am not denying is good or bad, it is definitely helpful. It is a great tool. But somewhere it also makes us more mechanized. If we truly think about it, if we really dive into it, we have been living life that is, almost like living from a means to an end. We do this because it serves an end. We do this because it serves an end. It is almost like we are trying to reach towards an end. And it is so very funny that when we talk of our lives, it is the end that we are most scared of. And somewhere we are living our lives that way. That we do this to reach an end. We do this to reach an end. So let us take time to, journal a few things, to write down a few things about our own selves, for our own selves, and to introspect within our own selves. And I am talking about this today because I happen to have an interesting conversation with somebody, and that person happened to tell me about this particular writing that I had shown. And this person said that the handwriting is very neat, it's very beautiful, it's very well spaced out, but only if this handwriting could be enlarged, or if they could write a little bigger. And I had a disagreement at that point in time, and I still do have that disagreement to a certain extent even today. So my notion at that point in time was, which I still hold today, is that when we are trying to tell somebody to change their handwriting, we are essentially trying to tell them to change their personality. Now, if that is done in a mindful way, it is fantastic. But if it is done only to serve the other in terms of their convenience, which is to say that you write bigger so that I see it better, and it makes it more convenient for me, and that I don't have to put in the effort to really read it, to really sit with it, is kind of working against life itself, is kind of working against the natural, normal pattern of life. And my understanding of the thing is that had it been said in a more mindful way, or had that been communicated and felt by me in a more mindful way, I probably would not have had a disagreement with that. And it also told me that we are constantly being told by everybody around us, by the society around us, by the culture around us, by the religion around us, by the policies, by the structures around us, to keep fitting into a certain norm, so that it becomes normalized. And then we also wish to stand out, which kind of becomes difficult when we are not able to own our own selves, when we are not able to own our own personalities or our own personal realities at this point in time, because we need to fit in. We kind of cannot stand out, which is very contradictory to how we live life and how we wish to live life. And as Brené Brown had beautifully said, now I don't remember the exact words of her quote, but what I do remember, the essence of the quote was that true belonging happens when we are so ready to belong to our own selves that we at times are also willing to stand alone and not fit in. Which is also somewhere saying that every size does not fit all. And that is why we need to be expressive about our personal realities and our personalities in that context. So if we are being mindlessly told that you do this because it makes it more convenient for XYZ people, then it is a disservice to the self. But if it is told in a manner wherein we are saying that you do it and your handwriting will take time to evolve, but it will also evolve your personality, it will transform you as the person. When the process of that change in handwriting is taking place, it would make more sense. And that is why I also would like to say that life is a constant process of evolution. It is a constant process of change. And yes, evolution takes longer because we are quite resistant to change, being the creatures of habit that we are. And somewhere we get attached to our habits because they take longer to form. And somewhere it starts to form a part of our identity. It starts to build up our identity or even demolish our identities in some way. But it starts to become a part of our identity. And therefore we resist that change because we resist the fear of the unknown. And since our habits have taken long to form, we also take longer to change our habits. And therefore, the process of change is longer, is more uncomfortable, is more inconvenient. And therefore, evolution takes longer. But that is the process of life if we can understand that. And if we are more adept at changing ourselves, our evolution would probably happen faster. And we should also understand that life in itself is a process of transformation. Like when we took birth, we did not, get embedded in the womb and the next day we popped out. It took time. Life inside that was growing took time to change, to transform, to get better, to evolve. And then when it was ready, it came out. So it's exactly the same thing. But unfortunately, since we are living our lives as a means to an end, we do not give ourselves that time. And we are also resistant towards change. In fact, the very fact that we are asking somebody else to change their handwriting so that it becomes more convenient towards XYZ for them to read also shows how resistant we are towards changing our own selves, but we want everything around us to change so that it makes it more convenient for us to function. Unfortunately, life doesn't work in conveniences. It just keeps moving, it just keeps evolving, and it just keeps transforming. And the more we resist it, the more it keeps bringing those stuff forward for us. The more it keeps repeating the patterns. And if we can understand that life is not just external from us, it is external as well from this body, but we also embody life. We are life. So if we can only understand that, we will also understand that we will keep repeating our own selves over and over and over and over again. We will keep repeating the similar patterns over and over and over and over again, because that is how life repeats itself till till we are ready to change, until we are ready to evolve. So let us get a little more mindful about how we communicate things, why we communicate things, and the intention behind that. And if we are to tell somebody that, change your handwriting, we should also say that I am willing to change in the same space. We should also say that this is about giving ourselves time and giving somebody else the time to change. It is also about understanding that it will automatically happen, because life is a process of evolution and it goes through changes for it to evolve. And what we were yesterday, we will not be the same people tomorrow. How you wrote yesterday will not be written the same way tomorrow, or even today. How you expressed yourself yesterday will not be expressed in the same manner tomorrow. So let us try and understand that, and let us try and also understand that it will happen. We need not enforce it, because the harder we try to enforce it, the more resistance we are met with. And the more resistance we are met with, the more the things persist. And the more patterns, the same patterns we keep repeating. So let's try and understand that the handwriting that we are presenting today, if we are doing that, if we are even aware that we are writing something for ourselves, towards ourselves, we will also understand that throughout the day, we also shift in our emotions, in our thoughts, in our feelings, and in our physicality. We should also understand that what and how we wrote yesterday, and how our handwriting expressed itself, or how we expressed ourselves through our handwriting, has evolved, has changed. And yes, there was that part of us that we do carry forward, has moved. What we were yesterday is equally recognizable, but it has shifted. So I think it's time we start understanding all of this integratedness together. Because unless we do that, we will be living life as means to an end, and it will never be a process, or at least we'll resist it as a process of transformation, as a process of evolution. And then we should have the patience with our own selves, with others around us. So let's try and do more of that, and I will see you once again next week. Till then, stay tuned in.